Hello and welcome to BWX. First of all, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy this video. It was certainly kind of a bit different to the previous games we've done here. So this is Metal Hellslinger, and in my kind of short TikTok review I said it was the Doom clone rhythm game, but actually I think I was wrong. I think it's actually the Guitar Hero clone taking some Doom aspects from it, because this game, as you may well have heard, is a complete rhythm game. That's the whole point of it. As you can see right now, little bars going across the screen, there's music playing, and it kind of just makes these you've got to kind of hit the rhythm in order to do the most damage. So I think let's go to the most interesting part of this game, which is that whole combination, having a rhythm game shooter. Certainly not something I've seen before, and I'm not very good at rhythm games. I'm not very good at rhythm. I'm not very good at clapping in time to a beat. I am awful at a concert. So this on the surface is not a game I would excel at. However, no, I didn't excel. But what I would say about this game is that actually it's still playable even if you are no good at rhythm games. So if you're rubbish at Guitar Hero, much like I was back in the day, don't worry, you can still play this game and it will still be fun. It's the whole kind of basis over the rhythm game is the idea that actually it rewards you for being in time. It doesn't punish you for not being in time, which I was a bit worried about at first, because obviously if you were taking these shots and you were doing no damage, then it wouldn't be a lot of fun. But it took a while to kind of get to grips with the rhythm mechanics of this game, because at first I didn't realise that. I thought you had to hit everything perfectly, but I wasn't really getting very far, so I'm going, okay, well, what do I need to do? And then I took out the shot, I was like, okay, maybe I should be playing with just this shotgun, maybe that's where I'm going wrong. But then trying to hit the rhythm with this shotgun was practically impossible, which for reasons I will go into a little bit later. So I went back to this flaming skull thing, and actually then you can start really hitting the rhythm and really hitting your combos. So it's quite a good little game in that sense, in the sense that actually it's not, like I say, it rewards you for hitting the combos, not punishes you for not hitting them, which was what I was a bit concerned about to begin with. Now, apart from that, the story, so you are playing as this demon who basically kind of wants to get out. It's all very vague. You've got this kind of cowboy style narrator talking about how there's the unknown, because they don't know who she is, and it's cool. Female demon who's not succubus makes a difference, so that's kind of nice. But yeah, and there's the keeper, who's like the big important bad guy, basically the devil, and yeah, you just kind of got to do these and you fight different aspects for him. There are 8 levels to hell, which I found a bit strange, because I'm thinking surely you got 9, but maybe my guess is that once you get to the last level, maybe you have to fight the devil himself in the 9th level of hell, so that's where I imagine that's going. And yeah, it's fine. I can't say that I'm going to be going back and back in order to complete the story. It's pretty much whatever, but yeah, like I say, it's nice that you've got a female demon who's not a succubus, makes a change, so that's a little positive. So yeah, the story, very whatever. Now, I think first, having touched upon the rhythm aspects of this, I'm kind of going to go to the shooter aspects. Now, for large amounts, I've probably played about 3 hours of this game, and from a shooter point of view, I'm not very impressed with the guns. They're kind of a bit boring. So you start off with the sword and the skull. The sword's actually quite good fun, and actually, despite the fact that they're like starter weapons, they're not bad weapons at all. And especially when you've got loads of these dudes who's kind of crawling, I think they're called puppets, dudes fighting you. It's really useful. You can just take the sword out, start swinging it, and kind of do lots of damage. To a large group of people. The skull, really easy to keep on beat. There's basically very little to no delay, so you can really just shoot that stuff on the beat, and that's how you get your score multiplier up. but it doesn't do massive damage. It doesn't really, you know, it's once again, it's kind of whatever. Then you get the shotgun, which I personally hate. I tried to play through just using the shotgun because I didn't really understand how I was meant to kind of kill loads of things. So I tried the shotgun, and what's so frustrating. It's a pump action shotgun in a rhythm game. So you shoot it, and then you've got like this dodgy pump, but it doesn't feel in rhythm to me. Playing it, it doesn't feel like it's pumping you back out at the right place to continue the rhythm. So that I thought was really disappointing as a weapon, and I'm not sure if I've got any footage of it, but I did actually then, towards the end of my little time playing this, I did actually unlock 2 revolvers, which were much better, and they did a lot of damage, and it felt so much better than that shotgun. So actually I think that perhaps I'm in a place where maybe I just needed to get to that weapon, but I think the shotgun's really annoying. It just doesn't feel like it shoots consistently on time. So the other aspect you've got is these sort of demons that come around. It is all very Doom-esque, I must admit. These guys are quite cool, because actually, if you look there, you can see that they're on strings. It took me a while to realise this, because they're called puppets. So it's kind of a nice little touch that these puppets are on strings, which I thought was pretty cool. You get the other bad guys. You've got the guys with the big arms, the gun arms. They shoot. They're, you know, annoying because they're ranged. And you've got this guy, just that's good timing, who's got a big scythe, and he jumps at you, and he's a bit more tanky. And then recently I've come across another enemy that's he's like a frog, is kind of a way I like to think of it, and he goes around being frog-like. And so it's alright. They're demons. They fit the aesthetic. They fit what they're meant to. They all look very demony, and that's fine. There's a nice kind of this is quite clearly meant to be speedrun. It's a bit funny in the sense that it is narrative, it is linear, but also the kind of idea is for you to play through these levels, I suppose, because they've only got 9 levels. And for instance, the second level I played, I did it in 1 playthrough, maybe 2 playthroughs. So the idea is that once you finish a playthrough of a level, you then get challenges to do, and you've got to do it in a different way, or faster, or whatnot. Oh, saying about this reminds me about the weapons. Each weapon has its own kind of bar, and once that yellow bar that you can see there fills up, you press the left trigger, and it kind of explodes. So yeah, that's what that does. It explodes what it does. So the shotgun is like a mega shotgun shot. This thing kind of like stuns enemies. The sword makes it really easy to hit your combos, which was really cool actually. And the pistols form a clone of you that shoot shots, which is really fun actually. Very useful against bosses. Once again, taking from Doom, this game also does have the same sort of mechanic that you injure a enemy enough, they go all highlighty, and you have to then press the right trigger down in order to jump to them and gain some health back. At first I didn't really understand. I kind of knew what you had to do, but I didn't realise it actually has to be in time with the music. So if it's not in time with the music, you will not be able to do that, which will be a real pain, because that health isn't abundant. There are these green crystals in the world that you destroy and you can get some health, but these are certainly welcome top-ups in and around the world, because you find that you suddenly take a lot of damage very quickly, so it's quite good to have that option. Once again, you're rewarded for hitting the beat. If you don't hit the beat, you're not essentially punished, you just don't get this bonus, but you are rewarded for being able to actually hit it. It's like, so for instance, this shotgun, if you hit it on beat, it will hit multiple enemies, as opposed to just the one, which is pretty cool, and it's a nice bonus to gain without punishing you too hard for when you don't get it. So the other thing this game has is it's got kind of like a resurrection system. So what happens is after if you die, you have to spend a portion of your points, and by spending those points you come back to life. So that's it. You can do that up to, you get 2 opportunities to do that, so you get 3 lives in total, which generally, I think I'm playing on hard mode, is enough. I mean, I'm certainly not the world's most
impressive gamer, but that certainly generally tends to be enough. A gripe I certainly had with this game was your hitbox essentially doesn't feel fair. So especially the puppets, as the animation lurches towards you, it doesn't feel like they are close enough to your hitbox for them to be doing you damage, and that is something that's really frustrating in this game. Visually, the environments are so-so. The first hell is meant to be cold and icy, and you've kind of got these very gothic buildings, and then the second one is a bit more industrial and more kind of. It reminds me of Nightmare on Elm Street. That kind of vibe when you get into the dream world and the boiler rooms and that sort of thing. Is kind of where my head's at with how that is. It's not an especially pretty game. I feel like it's adequate from a visual point of view. I know that obviously, and as I said in one of my previous ones, graphics aren't everything. It's got its own style, but this has a very generic style. It's Doom light or Doom-esque, depending on how you how generous you're feeling towards it. It's a cool game. Now, one thing that we really must praise this game for is it has a complete and individual soundtrack made for the game. So they've got different artists performing shockingly heavy metal music, which, if that's your thing, is a delight. And what's even better for this is for people who want to review and stream and things like that. These tracks are completely copyright free, so you are able, when playing the game, to use these tracks, and it's not going to be an issue. You're not going to have to turn the sound off and play on some sort of weird streamer mode to try and do a rhythm game with no music, which would seem somewhat unfair. So I think that's trying to be a fair evaluation. It's a game I've enjoyed, but when you come home from work, it's not a game you can sit and chill with. It's quite intense, especially considering how they've decided to present the game with those levels and challenges and things like that. So it's certainly a more intense play, and not something you will sit down and relax with. I mean, I suppose unless you're a complete metalhead. So first of all, thank you very much to our patrons as always. We've got KK Simmons and Stuart. And this game for me is going to be a Common Dragon. It's fine, it's good, it's certainly worth trying, but it's nothing to write home about. Please, like I say, like, subscribe, press the buttons, and we'll be seeing you next time on Breath Weapon X. Thank you very much.